It has been a long time coming in doing a Zane's Other View. I don't remember the last time I did one. But under the situation that's going on, I had to make one. Before I start, below you're only going to find a connection to my post-presidential reaction. I believe that's the right one to use. Because if I remember correctly, it has been a while. I believe I'm right about this, what I said. In general, independents, your hands are clean. It didn't matter if you voted for Romney or for the guy named Johnson who was an independent. Your hands are 100% clean. Republicans, moderate, which are almost impossible to find. Conservative, which are beginning to build quite a large numbers. And beyond conservative, ultra right wing, which a lot of people believe they're nuts, but they have their rights and they have their place. Your hands are also clean. The ones who are 100% to blame here are every Democrat who re-voted Barack Hussein or Barry Obama back into office. Now, why do I say this? I got a long list here I got to read you. Not going to give the dates because I can't remember them clearly. It's kind of hard to say because almost everything, because of what's been going on in the last 5 years, has blended together so badly. It's almost just one big blur. But let's get started here. Stimulus plan. You have the Benghazi incident right before the election. You have the IRS situation. You have the government shutdown, which was done by the Democrats. I'm an independent. I'm not for Democrats or Republicans. But I can honestly see that Democrats caused that mess. No matter how much you want to say it, it was their call. The website, which we Americans are ordered to go to, and understand this. I've known people in the past who have built websites who are IT guys. And I did speak to one of them a while ago. One thing he said to me is this. Under the situation with that website, if this was done by anybody in the private sector, doesn't matter if you like them or not, and they have no influence by the government whatsoever, ergo, the company who produced the website, which is from Canada, whose own friend was Michelle Obama's, any connection at all usually destroys the entire mess because they have influence to it. They could have done it between 750,000 to about 6 to 10 million. It depended on how big the traffic was going to be and what type of security you wanted. This website literally had technology that was over 10 years old with no proper security. The Iran situation in 2010, where a huge uprising of students wanted to have a democratic society, were killed off. And Barack Hussein Obama never spoke. The Egypt incident, where he spoke his mouth off without thinking and caused a huge mess in Egypt even today. What is going on with the veterans and him appointing a man who, one, didn't know how to deal with the situation, and two, realized he better not even try to use and try to get an advantage from it. What is going on right now at the border? If you don't know what's going on, current events. Right now, how things used to be, let me get it to you like this, ladies and gentlemen. What things that used to go on during the border of Texas, Arizona, any other state. Usually it's Texas and Arizona. Anybody crossing from Mexico, if they're coming from Venezuela, if they're coming from Peru, if they're coming from anywhere else, Japan, China, you name it. There's several people to come across, but mostly Mexicans. They used to try to avoid the Border Patrol agents to try and sneak in and do what they need to do. They're not doing that anymore. It's already been stated that every person that comes across the border now surrenders 100% to the Border Patrol. Because now there is a clause they're taking advantage of that states if they surrender, they don't immediately get deported. They have to be evaluated, and then there has to be some type of hearing. Now they stay in the country. And the Border Patrol officers are the ones directly responsible for that, and they can't handle it because, let's be honest, about 400 Border Patrol agents patrol over 20 to 50,000 miles of territory. Usually it's about 20,000 miles, I believe. But I'm also counting the mountain ranges that get pretty damn high. And even though they don't really climb it, they also have to use any type of surveillance like global hawks or anything else that they have to keep an eye on for that. Now you got about between 200 to 400 patrol agents who's dealing with more than 100,000 people where they don't even know how to house them. And then the final thing, you can say whatever you want. I'm talking about Democrats. I did not vote for Barack Obama because I felt that I should not vote for a man because he's black, and because he's Democrat, and because he's all new and fresh and we've never seen him before. I wanted somebody who actually knew what they were saying and did a good job. The closest person you Democrats had was Hillary, and your own party killed her to get a black man in office that knew nothing. He wanted to get out of Iraq so badly to go to Afghanistan. He pulled everyone out and then mostly deployed all the people to Afghanistan. And basically, no matter if, I'm saying if, no matter if the Prime Minister of Iraq said, I don't want you here, or why don't you offer me something to stay, it makes no difference. You can still stay in that country if you believe there's a threat. And even though it would be a political mess, it would have been better. You know the reason I'm saying that? Iraq is currently being beaten by, guess, the very same terrorists that our president said doesn't exist anymore after Osama bin Laden had been killed, along with several of his own people. Now, I haven't said anything about the Guantanamo Bay and what happened with Berdahl. Haven't said that yet. I will say in a minute. But I'm saying all this stuff beforehand, before we get to Berdahl, is that this president has destroyed everything that has been done. You can say whatever the hell you want about George W. Bush in both his runs. You can say more than a few things about Ronald Reagan and the Iran-Contra and dealing with, I forgot where it was, several places that he had dealt with while dealing with the Soviet Union. Panama, for instance, and several other places with Ronald Reagan. But you can say this, no matter how much you don't like a Republican in office, the world would see this country in a light that they would leave us alone. This is what the pacifists, I'm being honest here, people who always scream for peace, people who are Democrats always saying we should care about our own and focus on our own and give more to our own. You don't see the world for what it truly is. The world, I'll give it to you in this respect of Star Trek. Much of Gene Roddenberry, he believed that could actually happen technologically, has happened. We got cell phones. We have basically EKG meters that are highly digital. We have technology very similar to what most of what he had perceived and had heard about. But the one thing that he dreamed of, which will not be seen for, if ever, is the unification of humanity. Humanity has not changed in over 5,000 years. You know why? Because humanity sees only one thing. And it's not fair to say this. And I wish it was true how the pacifists see it. And the liberals, more than libertarians. Libertarians are more towards, somewhat more towards conservatives. I'm going to be honest here. Libertarians and conservatives are not too far off from each other. But there are stark differences. But they're both similar in stating that you need to have a strong defense and show what you are. But when it comes to the liberals, and it comes to the pacifists, and it comes to the ones who say warmongering is wrong, the world does not see it the way you wish to see it. The world is not the United States. And everyone says, of course not. That's the reason why we shouldn't do anything. Well, there's a problem. If you live in a neighborhood and you're a small little kid, but you have a big brother, and you get picked on by the little kids, what should be done? Your little brother is going to be picked on. So as a big brother, you're going to say, leave my little brother alone. He's not bothering you. Just go away. That's what the United States is. A big brother. As much as people don't want to hear it, that is the truth. The United States is a power that must be respected by exhibiting power. It doesn't matter if you want peace. There is no such thing as peace, as much as any pacifist or anybody wants to see it. There's only lows in war and lows of recovery. In a sense, yin and yang. And Barack Hussein Obama, going right back to the beginning, has completely discombobulated that. He has tried to follow the pacifist route in the very beginning of his administration and realized it didn't work. Then he tried to be more tough about it, and it still didn't work. So right now he's trapped between trying to be this and that, and it's not going to work. Now I'm sure people are going to say, dude, stop beating up on the black man. One, he's biracial. He's African and white, not African American. He's African and white because his father was African. He's African American. If you're going to be like that, of course you can say that's African American. But he's biracial. And that's something that black people don't want to admit. He wasn't a pure-blooded black man. Not many white mixed black people are anyway. They're mixed. Just like me. But they wanted to see this so fucking bad. They had their chance with Jesse Jackson. They had their chance with Al Sharpton. Hell, they said that, who? Bill Clinton was the first black president. And in a sense, he had the same mannerisms and attitude of a black man. He cheated on his fucking wife in open and got away with it. But in the end, all black people wanted to see was a black man in office. They were willing to kill everything for that, and they got it. And the majority of the people that voted for him were black people. And the minority were white, Asian, and everyone else that really wanted to believe something more, but really they were 100% wrong here. He's not cared for the poor. I know, because when I was injured, which I still am, and I have just recently got disability because of my injury, I didn't get barely any help from the government. The government wanted to kill me and have me leave this place because I had money. And I had no money. $400 a month is not money. But by the law, it was. And they'd rather see me drop dead in the street. And I'm being honest here, talking about how welfare in New York was. Going to the welfare places. I've been there. They'd rather see you dead in the street and then go for help than have something to try and recover. So I'm saying this from the very beginning. Independence. Your hands are clean of blood. No matter if you voted for Romney or Johnson, the independent that ran at the time. Republicans, it doesn't matter who. If you voted for Johnson or if you voted for Romney, your hands are clean. For Republicans that voted for Obama, for Democrats, and I'm being honest, if any Republicans voted for him, which probably weren't that many, but anyone who voted for Barack Obama for a second time, this is all your fault. I hope you're proud of yourself. Particularly that a deserter, where they have documented evidence, doesn't matter what condition his mind was in. He deserted. And instead of using it to get someone else other than him somewhere else, and instead of trying to send in special forces like you did with Barack Hussein Obama, well, I'm about to say Barack Hussein Obama, to Bin Laden, I'm sorry, to Osama Bin Laden, you said Marine Star 6. You're not supposed to state their names, you're not supposed to say who they are. Why couldn't you send that there? Why couldn't you send them there? No. You give up 5 of the worst people that have been now today on the 12th. The worst of the 5 in Guantanamo Bay for a man who's considered as a deserter, and the people who want to say he was honorable. You're not honorable when 6 people died trying to hunt for you. I'm sorry. No matter how anyone plays it right now, this is Democrats. Majority of the ones who voted were Democrats. Yeah, independents voted. Yeah, Republicans voted. But Democrats are the ones who made the final call in this. And I blame you. Anyone who dies from now on, like what happened in Boston, is your fault. And I'm putting the blame on every Democrat who voted for him. I don't care if you're young. I don't care if you're old. I don't care if you're gay, lesbian. I don't care if you're sick or well. You were given the evidence. Clearly, people knew there was something wrong, and the media swept it under the rug, that this guy wasn't that great. And I'm not talking about the birthers. All the evidence pointed him not doing well. And all of you just wanted to do it because you wanted to follow party lines. And this, you should be ashamed of yourselves. Right now, Fallujah, which is 40 miles away from Baghdad, has fallen to basically the terrorists. Once it reaches Baghdad, it is over. And I blame all of you for it. You can trash me in the comments all you want, but this is the Democrats' fault. And I hope you're proud of yourselves. I really do.